How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lo4f, and today, again, got another mission, or contract rather, in the group of contracts called Stage 1, part of, so I hear, I believe it is, of unlocking the A's of something, something, blah blah blah, phone number, Sprinter, the one of two vehicles, the only truck we've been given. So again, for this, you're going to have to go to the, well, for the first part, to that warehouse we unlocked the other day. You can use the generator to create metal beams, and I need 2 lots of metal beams. I also need to get these 4 solar panels. One's pretty near the bridge, the other 3 you can see are kind of washed further down the river. Yeah, and then to bring them back, I've got to take them to that solar plant thing there. It's basically right next to the garage, so again, as near as makes no difference. You basically, yeah, bringing it back to the garage. Like I say, it's definitely not identical to the last mission or anything. As far as ways to go, it's the way it is on this game. Well, say this map, whatever. The left-hand side of the map is just quicker to get to the top of the map, but there's still a fair bit on the right-hand side that I haven't uncovered. I don't think there's anything too crazy. I believe I've definitely got like the vast majority of the map, particularly after tonight, because as you can see, I've got a little a loaf with a radar trailer. Radar loaf is one I prepared earlier, so he was waiting there, stashed and ready. Yeah, I get a nice fat radar light right in the middle of. I've got like a massive black spot in the middle of the map, where those solar panel things were. The reason I wanted to put the loaf on the trailer like this, I was curious because now it says like, you know, pack vehicles and trailers. I was hoping that you could pack the, say, you know, the loaf and the trailer when they're connected, but it just won't let you. I was packing, unpacking. I've done quite a bit of editing in this. You'll see why as the night goes on. Mostly this mission, I enjoyed it, but it was other parts of the game, you know, just little bugs and stuff that were absolutely trolling me like a mad one. So it took a lot longer than expected, a lot more editing and all that. Yeah, I will say now though, definitely, I certainly wasn't attempting this in what I would consider the absolute like maximum efficient way. Like basically, first things first. Well, I've got a goddamn horse or vehicle because, like I say, he knows what he's doing. That's where he wants to sit. He wants to be on the roof. Who am I to stop him? He's yeah. Someone said in the comments about I said loaf weighing the front down, and they said, oh, he said the loaf is normally weightless. Like, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. He only weighs anything when he needs to, when he wants to. When I need him to be weightless, he is magically weightless. Yeah, the trailer, I mean, I kind of brought the trailer because it was just a bit of a little quick side project of like seeing how the it'll let you pack trucks and trailers and stuff. Long story short, as you can see, I had to disconnect them, so you can only pack stuff independently, but it doesn't really make a crazy difference. Like, you just got to drive onto the trailer, disconnect it and pack. So, and obviously to get off the trailer, just unpack it, quickly jump in the loaf, click attach trailer. It's already like the right distance behind you and stuff from when you detached it. So yeah, that's not much of an issue. But as I'm going to the warehouse thing, there's already a trailer store behind there, and I wasn't sure at this point, because where at least the first solar panel is, it's kind of on the way to the store. I wasn't entirely sure if I was going to get those solar panels first and then go to the warehouse, and then doubtful, but you know, maybe take a different path back or whatever. So I just brought the trailer with me, but then in hindsight, the way it all planned out, the way I ended up doing it, I don't really need to. So for this one, like I said, the first part of the mission is 2 lots of metal beams. They're 2 slot cargo each, so that's 4 slots of cargo, and then the solar panel things are like 1 cargo each, and there's 4 of them. So you need 8 slots of cargo. I was considering like, could I take a colob and an 8 slot, but the amount of dips and things in this map, I'm not knocking them for that. I'm just saying it's, you know, it's just a factor of the map. That's part of the nature of the way they've designed the map. There's a lot of like, even on the dirt tracks, it sort of turns into quite boggy mud, so you're sinking quite a bit, catch your nose a lot, etc. I really don't fancy the 8 slot because it's the legs on the 8 slot are just digging every time you go over a little hill. They dig in, and they dig in just, you know, the nature of like gaming mechanics. They dig in like Superman. They dig in like the loaf. It just like it's hooked into the terrain and that's it. So yeah, I try and avoid them as much as I can. And what I was thinking in the end was with the metal beams, I can just stack two on top of each other basically. Like I've done it loads of times before, and I quite like doing it because it's a little bit not like cheeky, but you know what I mean. You sort of feel like you've earned a little bit of a bonus for yeah working things out a little bit and trying to well, just get away with not having an 8-slot trailer really. And the reason I brought Bruce for this one, Bruce is an absolute unit. Like during the review and that, he nailed it up all 3 quarry hills with the trailer. Like didn't even break a sweat. Again, he's an absolute beast. And since then, he's had raised suspension and all sorts of stuff. I was curious with this map. I already had a little bit of I don't know how you feel it. It's one of them where tonight I was kind of like, yeah, sod it. I've dipped my toe back in the water and I'll have a little. I'll push me luck a little bit. And then again, it wasn't like a horrible mission as such. There's a few things that I'd probably, yeah, like again, if I had to go and do the mission again, or if I ever do, like on the live stream, I'll be doing it with mods then, so it's sort of different anyway. But yeah, there's a few things I'd do different. Bruce, as good as he is, certainly a unit. 2 things I kind of noticed. One I've already said. There's like lots of little soft patches, so your tyres sink in quite quick. Stuff with either really tall suspension or preferably just have practically no front end of the truck. So, you know, like your front wheels are basically at the front bumper. Yeah, Bruce has obviously got a massive chin. That's how he got his name, Bruce Forsyth. It sinks a lot, catches his chin a lot. It's not the end of the world because you're not going that rapid. It doesn't really make you tip or anything like that. It is what it is. But as well, I've noticed on this map, again, it still feels a bit like that clutch slipping feeling is how I'd sort of describe it. But yeah, I'm not sure if there's been like a little bit of a I wouldn't say like a direct tyre nerf, like, you know, if you were to check the stats, I'm sure the tyre stats are the same, but then there's obviously various equations all these stats go through to come out with an end product of like how much it's going to limit you on, you know, X, Y and Z. I don't know, it's just, like I said, Bruce is an absolute unit. He's got 10 wheels. This game's always relatively been like 6-wheeled vehicles can be great and all the rest of it, and because they're often lighter vehicles, it sort of balances out about the same. But 8-wheeled and 10-wheeled vehicles, Bruce being one of the few, they just have a hell of a lot of grip because there's more wheels. It's like adding another 66% of grip on top of, say, a Tayga that's got 6 wheels. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really feeling the gain in this map. So it's one of them. I don't know if it's a combination of, like, obviously because I wasn't able to get on the game for about 8 odd weeks. It wouldn't surprise me if they've sort of nerfed and tweaked various things, especially that it's a racing. Yeah, they've got racetracks and stuff. They've probably had to fiddle with a few things to, I don't know, I'll say make things work more in the top end. When I was on the live stream though, took Fox's mod twice twin steer around the track, and one, I can say it was bloody nice. If any of you have got mods, I'd definitely recommend Fox's twice twin steer. You just get this, like, stick it in high gear, do the Jeff special, you get a nice little drift on the go. That's something that I could happily sit there for hours. I had a quick little go on the live stream, but I could happily just sit there for hours with that twice twin steer and just do laps of that track, trying to just nail it and get that one perfect lap. I may do it at some point. It's one of them. It's like well, it's time really. Yeah, I never really no. It's the same thing like with Insomnia and that at the minute. Sort of like well, it's not that I don't want to do videos every day. I want to do videos every day. I like doing videos every day. But to potentially space the content out, it's like, well, shall I do, say, 5 days a week or whatever? But then, the problem, like, particularly at the minute anyway, it's like the season's pretty new, so there's plenty of stuff to do. But as well, it's sort of like, I don't know, I might end up having a really bad lack of sleep next week and be pretty ill, so I sort of like, yeah, make hay while the sun shines. So I can't, like, I'm not guarantee it's going to be 7 days a week, but that's basically what I'm sort of intending to do. And here and there when I can't, I'll obviously just say, Yeah, skipping it tonight. So anyway, yeah, driving along, got to this point. The radar trailer is a bit of a pain to reverse, but the loaf just muscles it out of the way. Yeah, I mean, this is already one aspect of the mission, which I didn't technically need to do. I certainly didn't need to combine it in with the mission, so... I mean, it hurts me to even say this, but I could have left this loaf at the garage, and then, like I said, not brought a trailer. I was just curious. It's funny, when I got here, though, there's a trailer that's tipped in the river, and I assume, obviously, like that's what the solar panels tipped off. I believe it did say trailer discovered in the end at some point, so it must be a usable trailer. It'd have been nice... Well, I don't know, actually. I'll probably... Unless it did say something in the actual description of the contract, but I didn't get any hint that there was a trailer. I would have certainly considered and probably taken something like a club and, you know, winch that trailer back. Well, the club you couldn't, because you can't get a crane on it. I mean, I could take the club, but I'd have to take something else with a crane. But yeah, I just had no idea there was like a big fat wide trailer, whatever the hell they call it these days. So yeah, that can just live in the river. Again, it's whoever's been on this map has beat me to the job. I like leaving trailers all over the place, but... And now they've put a trailer store at like that storehouse thing. I've actually sold some trailers back for once, which is pretty rare. Again, this little bit here, always like cut on the inside. When I stopped at that bridge though, where I dropped the loaf off, again, originally I was thinking of a couple of different ways of doing it. I thought, shall I detach the ramped flatbed? Because I already know this is the issue that I don't like with the ramped flatbed, and it ended up being a pain in the ass later on in the video. But I can't even reach the trailer from my crane. So just trying to load stuff onto the trailer, you either have to try and reverse it around and sort of jackknife it, but then when you try and turn the trailer back around it tips a lot, or you have to keep disconnecting the trailer each time, reversing alongside it, drop the cargo off, but then you need to reconnect the trailer to pack the cargo. And yeah, it's just one of them things, like whoever designed the crane mechanics and everything on this game, and to this day still signs off on it like, yeah, that'll do. It's a pretty terrible job, to say the least, because the cranes are an absolute disaster really in this game. They can't lift what they're supposed to do. It's like one of those memes, you've got one job. The cranes in this game have one job, and they can't do it. They're nowhere near fit for purpose. They drive me crazy, to the point where I used to love... part of the reason I used to... Well, I still do drive like a tit, but part of the reason it was nice to drive like an idiot was because I was sort of tempting fate to have a crash, because it was like, yeah, cool, then I'll go and get a crane vehicle out and do a rescue. It's sort of part of the game. But yeah, ever since over the seasons, they just, for whatever reason, whether it accidental or on purpose, I'm not entirely sure, yeah, the crane strength of them just keeps getting nerfed to the point they can barely lift cargo. Certainly like on vehicles as well, and yeah, it's just not as fun anymore to do that bit. I try and avoid using the crane for anything beyond obviously getting the goddamn horse or vehicle on the roof, because that's a worthy mission. I just left that little bit in again to remind people, turn the generator on, or otherwise you'll get to here and it'll say no power. Also, it just sort of shows you that I did carry the loaf and the radar trailer to that bridge, but had I not done that, I didn't need to bring this ramp flatbed the whole way. And then yeah, for the metal, this is what I was having like a little bit sort of and ahhing, kept going back and forth. I was wondering whether do I put the metal beams on the trailer and then collect the solar panel things and stack them kind of like 2 in the sideboard, 2 on top. But I couldn't decide which way round to do it. I don't even know in hindsight which one I'd do. It's obviously easier to just put the metal beams in the sideboard, because I can pinch the top one down with a crane, and because it's a 2-slot cargo, even if I'm pinching the front end of it, it's still, the back end is still, like, obviously it's a 2-slot cargo. If I had 4 solar panel things, 2 would be packed, 2 wouldn't. The crane, as you can see, if like the cargo is slightly taller than where the crane has a bend in like its arm, I can't push down on like the rear piece of cargo. So in the end I decided to keep the metal beams in here, And yeah, again, I mean, I've done this plenty of times before, but if there's anyone that's a little bit newer to the game, this is an option, sort of. Not all the time, it's one of them kind of, you know, do it at your own risk sort of thing, but, well, there's not risk, nothing like crashing or like the game or anything, but obviously it's a bit of extra weight. There is, you can hit a bit of a dodgy, annoying bump and the cargo could fly off, but as you can see, I'm not even using the winch on the crane either. That is just purely the crane pushing down on those metal beams, and it, yeah, stays in there pretty well. That's definitely what she said. But yeah, it does. It's got me by many missions, and like I said, if I can always like do it to avoid a trailer, like for example, if I only needed the metal beams and I didn't need the solar panels or anything, I could have done this mission with just Bruce or a variety of other vehicles with just a sideboard, and yeah, I wouldn't have to even bother with the trailer, which yeah, would be nice to say the least. Like I say, up to now, things were going pretty smoothly. I was pretty happy with the results. I knew, well, there's another reason I tend to pick trucks where I can fit loafs on. I'm not going to lie. It is what it is. But yeah, like I said, Bruce is an absolute unit, and I kind of, because I was wheel spinning a lot with the Dolphin and a few other vehicles I've been messing around with, I kind of thought maybe the low range gearing and yeah, 10 wheels and all the rest of it, that apart from catching my chin, I'd be absolutely ploughing through certain sections. But yeah, it's not quite always the case. I figured might be a pretty good spot for a thumbnail. I don't know. There might be a something else that is a contender. We'll see. So this bit, I start getting editing a bit more now. I already cocked this up completely. Started turning, didn't realise until about now that there was a fuel trailer in the way. Not that it matters because I'm just shove it out of the way. But I turned the corner too tightly to miss the fuel thing, and my trailer got locked in those two bloody flag posts. Yeah, it wasn't the end of the world, just stuck a winch to a tree. Here was like another issue. I can get the cargo, but I can't reach my trailer. Yeah, if I disconnect the trailer, I can't pack the cargo. So you end up having to do stuff like this, jackknife in the trailer, which is now risking tipping me over. As well as now, once you straighten up as well, the trailer may well just sort of tip over to the side and flick all your cargo back off. The crane struggles to lift the cargo at all, and then now it starts floating off in the water, which it did float off. I cut it, but I got it back, went to pack it, and it comes up with a message saying something along the lines of, you've got too much cargo, so anything that's over the limit, it'll delete it. So it was about to delete one of my metal beams. Fortunately, I didn't just like button mash and keep pressing X. So again, I did it back to get the metal beams off, put them on the floor, then pack that cargo onto the trailer, and then flick down the menu before the water makes it float away, and then yeah, pack it and then stack the metal beams back on. And to be honest, if that was most what ended up happening, I probably wouldn't be too bothered. But yeah, well, again, I'm not like hard missions and all the rest of it. I'm fine with that. It's, yeah, just sloppy mechanics that they haven't polished and fixed. That's like, this shouldn't be part of the mission. It's like if you're playing Call of Duty and every time you go to shoot someone, you know, a magic wall keeps glitching in the way and saving everybody. There's only so long until you're just going to be like, yeah, solve that. I floored it through there. I was pushing my luck. I kind of knew I was. I did tip there. I didn't even look. I don't even think the footage even lasted long enough. But I just instantly, like, save footage, quit reload, and it loaded up just back there because it had already wasted me time with that bloody trailer. Yeah, I was owed some time, so that worked out pretty nicely. Plus, I wanted to try like this little thing out. Well, I've done it before, but it's, you know, it's nice when it actually organically becomes of use, like hanging the crane out to the right with the cargo dangling off it. So yeah, the game had a lot harder time of trying to tip me over. So get to this point, it's already been prepared by the loaf. Do you know one thing that, like, another thing that'd be really nice, as part of, like I said, if they had let the loaf have a crane, He's certainly qualified enough for it. But even if you could just attach, or any vehicles could attach their winches to cargo, that would be pretty nice. So, got here at this point. By the way, I have no idea why the loaf is tipped over there, because I don't know, I radared the map and then I switched vehicles, so I haven't even been back here. Yeah, basically, this now, it all starts to get pretty trollish. So, first piece of advice, do not take a ramped flatbed in this water. It's like a wind sock, but with water. I don't really know if water sock is a thing or makes any sense. It's just terrible. Whatever's like the hitboxes or whatever of the trailer are digging in like mad. There's like soft, silty stuff here, so you can't grip very well. That is what it is, I'm not really bothered about that. It is a river and all the rest of it. But yeah, the trailer just makes it like basically impossible. So again, I keep cutting ahead because otherwise, well, the video would be well over an hour. Sometimes I sort of think, oh, do I leave all of the messing around in? It sort of seems like a good idea at the time, but then when you're editing it and you're talking about it, there's only so long that you can say, yeah, then this went wrong, and then it's sort of like you're just watching pain and suffering for the next 10 or 15 minutes, and then I've not only had to live through it, now I've got to watch it again, so yeah, sometimes it's nice to just edit in the main points. I mean, this is it, you can see that the trailer is just dragging me around all over the place. Obviously, yeah, a minute or two of editing there, but yeah, I just couldn't reverse. Well, I could go forward because obviously the current, but I didn't want to. So quit reload. This time I detached the trailer, especially at the minute with like this, the quit and reload method. Obviously, do it at your own risk because I don't want to officially condone it as such. Not that I don't give a shit about the cheating wise, we've got mods and get money and stuff, but yeah, do it at your own risk. Like, touch wood, it's never happened to me. I've done it, for God knows, hundreds of times, and yeah, I've never lost my save data or anything like that, but you know, you are kind of maybe tempting it a little bit more than nothing. So after I got this cargo, I drove through the river. I believe I might have, there's a tree in the middle, and I believe that fired out the map and tipped me. I think, to be honest, yeah, I must have just edited past it. To be fair, I was running out, when you do on Share Factory, you only get 50 clips you can put together, so every time obviously I chop a bit out of a clip, it now turns that one clip into two, etc, etc. And I was on like 49 out of 50, so I couldn't really edit anything more. I just had to like remove certain bits, but again, I mean, the video is near enough 40 minutes long. If there was no hiccups or anything, it probably still would have been probably a good 30-minute video really anyway. Yeah, give the loaf a little nudge of encouragement. He's back on his wheels, which will come in handy pretty soon. So at this point you can see I was getting a little bit more impatient just through that last solar panel cargo on top. Wasn't really bothered because I knew I was going to have to sort of unload it all and put it on this trailer. All I wanted to do now was winch to the front of the trailer, but it won't give me the winch point. That's one issue. To be fair, impatience was half of my fault here. The crane legs don't do anything though, as I can kind of pretty much prove later. But as soon as I touched the winch on that trailer, it just instantly tipped me. By the way, now I've uncovered the map, there is actually a road here, so I'll explain it a bit later because I believe there's like a bit of footage where I just look at it once I'm all done. That tree, by the way, is a twat. It's got like an invisible hitbox. Kept trying to put. I was trying to, you know, like get your little loaf hole. He digs in. That tree just keeps wiggling around, and it's like, yeah, like an invisible hitbox that keeps trying to tip me over to sort of the left as we're looking at it now. And it was knocking me away from like the juicy loaf hole goodness. See if that gets censored by YouTube. Yeah, so I mean, the loaf, so he's a goddamn professional, so he tipped the dolphin. That's why he gets himself a loaf. Would have been, well, not mission over. I'd have had to have sent a rescue vehicle from the garage, which as a general rule I try and avoid because I like to do it where it's kind of like, right, once I set off from the garage, I really don't want to go back truck or anything, unless it's already, you know, I already know I'm gonna have to grab a different truck 40 minutes later. But once I've kind of decided what I'm doing, I try to do it with as minimal vehicles as possible. Even this run as a prime example, it's 8 slots of cargo. I could have quite easily just done 2 runs. I've even got a Dolphin and Lo4f already stashed at the warehouse, and I could have bought a trailer there. So there's lots of ways I could have sped this mission. I mean, again, if you're really just trying to fly through the game as quick as possible, there's a chance you do have a truck there from when you drop the generator off and all that, so that can save some of your journey. But as we've only got one map, there's not a shed load of content by the looks of it. I sort of, well, it wasn't really like trying to make the most out of it like that. I just like messing around and stuff, but I also just kind of set the challenge in my head that I want to take only Bruce. It's got a sideboard, trailers, taken some Lo4fs, and then just between all of them I've got to kind of mix, match, jump around, do whatever, and yeah, just to get it all done in one run. At this point, oh, by the way, I was sort of rambling, there was the crane got stuck in the floor. At one point, the physics, you know, when you're too far away from something, it just locks in place, so the Bruce just wouldn't move because I was too far away with a winch. Even though I could reach that far, I had to keep moving nearer just to get the physics to unlock. Yeah, like I said, then the crane leg stuck in the floor. Once I got that out, because I hit restore crane or whatever it is, now I was leaning on this metal beam. But do you know what? I'm glad I got to do this little bit though, because I've not tried it for a good old while, but the crane's still just about had enough strength to kind of flip me back over like that. So you can see at this point I'm getting a bit annoyed with the trailer, because again, I tried to winch to the front, it won't offer me the winch point. So I was just like, right, fuck you. I'm just going to keep reversing at it, hitting the back end until it eventually spins round one way or another. At this point I was like, I really don't care. I'm just going to keep reversing into it until something different happens, because yeah, I'd been down here for probably about an hour at this point, and there's not even a whole lot going on. It's very slow in the boggy mud, which in and of itself I don't mind, because yeah, it's a river and all the rest of it. But this trailer, I mean, look at it. I can drag the trailer easier when it's upside down and the ramps are perpendicular to the floor and they're digging in like giant spades. That's how shockingly bad this trailer is. It moves easier upside down. Yeah, so I got it out the water facing the right way, but the goddamn horse had to flip it over. So quite a bit of editing going on here again, but as you can kind of see, I've got to go and pick each one of the solar panels. The crane, I can't even lift it now, it's not strong enough to even lift it off the floor. You have to shorten the boom length or whatever the hell you call it. Yeah, got all 4 loaded on, got the trailer attached, went to pack the vehicle. Excessive cargo. Clearly there isn't any excessive cargo, but my trailer is sat on top of the metal beams, so it was going to delete the metal beams if I said yes. So I had to drive the trailer off the metal beams. But of course, this trailer, being the shitbag that it is, has got like a square hitbox underneath, so it like locks onto the metal beams, flicks around. Yeah, I think did a bit of fast forwarding on this, but let's pick them all one by one again. And at this point, crane just, no chance of lifting those metal beams. Not like that anyway. Again, if you retract like the arm to its shortest length, it will almost tip there. Got a good old panic winch fired out time. Again with them metal beams, it's like, Jesus Christ, the whole map has just become completely hostile. But again, it wasn't the, I don't know, the stuff going on, the odd tip and all the rest of it is like cool. It's, yeah, the crane mechanics is pretty much, and the odd thing with the winch where it won't show you the winch point, but between that ramped flatbed and just crappy weak cranes, yeah, it kind of ruined this mission quite a lot. I was enjoying it quite a bit until this just became like, you just keep rolling your eyes like, Jesus Christ, game, just work how you're supposed to work so I can at least get past like this repetitive pointless bit. I could have just left at that point, but I was stubborn. I was like, no, and get my Lo4f back on the roof. See the trailer there, it's all tipping, I don't know why, but winched it to the tree. Now it won't scrape over, so it tried to tip the other way. I knew when I released the winch it's now going to fling back, and it almost did flick my cargo back off. Yeah, crane's absolutely like just won't lift anything, but magic of the Lo4f, like I said, he's weightless when he wants to be, so he knows what he's doing. And yeah, got him on the roof, got him packed. Finally, I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm getting the hell out of here. Yeah, not too thrilled with that. I was looking for a possible thumbnail. I was like, I don't know, I'm in the shade a bit there. I thought after all that, I'm getting the right side, get a bit of sun shining on me. I've got all 8 slots of cargo, got the stupid trailer packed, got my goddamn horse of a vehicle back on the roof, got the crane pinching the metal beams down to kind of hold them in place. So yeah, I think that might be today's thumbnail. So now for the map, there's the garage. That's the route I'm going to take back. So again, we're nearly going back to the garage. It's just that solar power plant thing. That's where the first solar panel thing was, and then the other 3 were down here at the trailer. As you can see though, because I did a Lo4f radar, there is actually a road coming off down here. Looking at it there, to be fair, it's quite a wiggly, windy road, so might not be worth it in the end. But you know, if you want to mix up the route, you could kind of drive back down that way. It kind of uncovered this road as well. I wasn't sure whether to cut over there, where I was just sort of showing you with the marker, but I was curious to see. Well, I'd rather go down there and sort of see what's going on. I just quickly edited it out, but I just took that Lo4f to fix the tyre. There was a burst tyre. In fact, oh no, I've not got this spare tyre thing on Bruce. I was thinking it was a Dolphin where it's kind of sat flush in the back of the cab, but no, never mind. And I think I gave him the roof rack fuel as well. So yeah, this road is sort of new, never been down this one before. But to be fair, it was alright. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say I'll be queuing up to go down it again ASAP. Really, at the minute, I just keep going through different vehicles. I just want to find one that's sort of suits the way they've not just planned the map, but like I said, with a certain like squidgy, boggy sections that even in the dirt roads kind of appear and your tyres just sink and you catch your chin. Yeah, I mean, stuff like the Taiga might be interesting with the big fat custom muds. They're a bit trollish, like they don't grip in mud anywhere near as well as they should, and how they look. They certainly look a lot better. I really do like them on the Taiga looks wise. But yeah, stuff like that. Like I said, the Clubs maybe, because they've got like kind of like custom muds and it's like 8 big fat tyres. So still plenty of missions left, I believe. Plenty of vehicles to yeah, keep testing out. Like I said, the Dolphin, I'm still happy with that. Zix, that was alright. This thing, Bruce, depends on the journey. There was considering, like, I've got 8 slots of cargo, towing a ramp flatbed, got a crane, got a Lo4f, all sorts of stuff. Like, it's yeah, it's doing fine. It's just catching the chin, really. It tried to get me there. Tried to have me one last time, but the Lo4f, he's taught me many panic winch situations. It doesn't matter if it's just a shot to nothing. If there's no trees there, just panic fire a winch anyway, because you never know. Might find some stupid tree trunk that's buried, or yeah, they stash tree stumps around here, there, and everywhere. It's worth a shot. And again, I mean, if I had have tipped it, I would have just quit and reloaded, and I would have started a bit further back down the road. Had everything else in the mission gone right, possibly when I tipped, yeah, I might think, oh, I'll go and, you know, get a crane from the garage and do a proper rescue. So when I got to this point, you can see on the road, it sort of goes up between like some rocks. Don't think it'd be like crazy impossible or anything, but you can also sort of see where I've drawn the line. It just looks quite convenient to just sort of cut across the flatter part of the map, and you can see up ahead on the map now, the hill. I mean, it's not like a mountain or nothing like that, but Bruce's chin on the map, it looked like there's loads of rocks at the top in the middle, which can be a bit of a pain in the arse. And yeah, I was just like, nah, there's no point. If I can cut through here. That wasn't an edit, it was just like a computer glitch then. They call that a bridge. Built more solid bridges than that when I was 10. Building like a bloody den or something. I don't know why it's reminding me of it, but years ago, me and my mate, there was a brook, like a little stream where we lived. It was where that guy shot that air rifle at the post above my head. But further down the brook anyway, if you follow it like downstream for, I don't know, another 100, 150, 200 metres, it goes through like, it was basically like a horse paddock and a stable. And there was a woman there, and even though like we're not up to anything like that, we were just like, oh, I don't want to get caught, tiptoeing through the brook. I just remember this one point where we were tiptoeing, like crouched down, looking down at the water, tiptoeing as we're walking through, only trying to get past this horse paddock and this woman in the stable and all the rest of it, and just carrying on down the river, or brook. A river's probably a bit extreme. Yeah, and at some point she was just stood at the edge watching us, just tiptoeing along. Like, it just always stuck in my head as one of those things that, like, she must have pissed herself laughing afterwards of just what a mega fail to sneak like right 10 foot away from somebody, tiptoeing through water looking down, and it's like she was like, excuse me, and yeah, you know, she was sound like, so we're only about like 10 years old, so trying to find water snails and what them, yeah, bullhead. Is it bullhead fish? Used to lift rocks up and grab them. They looked, yeah, I don't know, got like a fat head. Kind of almost remind you a little bit like, not a hammerhead shark, but before it's got the hammer, if it was just like a big fat hamster cheeks, looked like it'd been stashing food. And sticklebacks. Let's catch them little beasts. Sticklebacks and gudgeons. So you can see, by the way, while I was rambling on, yeah, that little shortcut-ish through whatever the terrible bridge they'd built. Yeah, definitely worth it. Went pretty nicely. And I've been hitting my chin quite a few times and all the rest of it, bumping around. You can see, though, I haven't touched those metal beams since I set off from the river. And they bounce around a bit, jiggled a bit over to the right. I mean, in theory, I could, with the crane, just hold the winch onto the cargo and like retract the winch cable to where I'm basically touching it anyway. Then it pretty much can't move. It's just one of them, when you go to panic fire a winch, obviously if your crane's already attached to the cargo, you might have to cancel that first, so preferably, yeah, I like to not have the winch attached. It's one of them, if it falls off, after everything else that it's been doing to me tonight, if that fell off and I just have to spend 20 seconds hoiking it back up, and yeah, it's not too bad. See what I mean? Just little patches like that. Again, that was a glitch, not an edit, where it doesn't look like there's any particular hill or dip or bump or whatever. Again, not complaining, it's just the nature of the map. Like, there's another one, gets you quite a lot, so yeah, the less chin the better at the minute. Old Bruce, like I said, he's a unit. If there's any missions where you got to tow some heavy stuff, yeah, Bruce will be pretty high on the list. And the club. And the Zix, to be fair. Like I said, if I'd known that trailer was there, I would have considered maybe the Zix or the club, or even the, well, I don't know actually. I was going to say the P16. It excited me at the thought of it, but I really like the P16. Not, I don't know how it'll perform on this map. It's one of them, it's a bit of an underdog, the P16, because it's not got all-wheel drive. A lot of people just think, nah. And I sort of do, but because it's so heavy and, I don't know, it just creates its own grip. It does better than you'd think in some situations. Not all. If it's really bumpy, iffy terrain, that's where it'll suffer, because once it cocks one side of its rear wheels up, you've lost, you know, a hell of a lot of your traction, because then even the side that's touching the mud are sort of doing so on an angle. Anyway, yeah, enough of that rambling. We finally made it here. Like I said, it was just nice to get it all done in one trip. So yeah, what's it, building a solar panel farm? Lay some little solar panel eggs. Yeah, what was the XP 7 or 800 or something? A little bit more money, so I should have been paid a lot more for the amount the crane was trolling me. But yeah, on the actual map, you can see now there are actual solar panels there, so I've got an animation and everything. But yeah, that's about it for today though. I hope you've enjoyed, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, thanks to my Patreon members, and I'll be back soon.